The Young and the Restless scoop for Tuesday, April 8 reveals a panicked Tracy Abbott will secretly call Jack Abbott. I and our spoilers tease Summer will admit to Chance that she's jealous of Claire Newman. Harrison is the light of my life, and she can practically see him as much as I can. I hate that, she'll say, but Chance will tell her she's jealous because of Kyle Abbott too. Summer will say she needs time to process everything, but he'll say it's been long enough. Summer will tell him they can talk about it when they're ready. I'm actually ready now, Summer, Chance will reply. I'm sorry, this is something you're gonna have to deal with on your own. Meanwhile, Nick will agree with Phyllis and tell Sharon they should call off the trip for now. After all, they're getting close to finding out some answers. Do we think there's a solid chance that Alan Laurent is behind all this? He'll ask them. Sharon will say he barely knows her but doesn't know Phyllis at all. Nick will look up Alan and find out he had a twin brother named Martin, who was in and out of psyche clinics with multiple afflictions. However, he died after a fall during an altercation with Alan in Paris. Chance will arrive and say he learned their captor rented a farmhouse just outside of town. Is there more to this? Maybe something about the case or Alan? Nick will ask him. If we're off base, just tell us, but they deserve to know what they're up against. So he'll tell them Tracy's concerned it might be Martin, not Alan, who survived the fall. In Tracy's suite, Jack will call her, and she'll say she's had no word on Alan flying back to town tomorrow. Tracy will pour herself a drink, and Alan will walk into the room. She'll embrace him and say she's so happy he's returned. But he'll notice something is off with her. It's about me not calling ahead, isn't it? He'll add. Wait, have you changed your mind about us? Tracy will say she missed him more than she can say. You are wonderful, and I love being with you. But the engagement, she'll tell him. I feel like we could take a little time to plan and process. She'll ask what the rush is. Has something happened to scare you off a future with me? An angry Alan will reply. Tracy will say nothing or no one could scare her away from him. But she wants them both to be absolutely sure. Waiting can only make us stronger as a couple. So she'll ask if he can respect her feelings and give her the time she's been asking for. I know you're holding something back, he'll reply. I know you better than you think I do. He'll say there's no warmth in her voice or her eyes. Do you doubt my honesty? At the jazz club, Ashley will talk about how happy she is for Tracy being engaged to a good friend of hers. But Jack will say he and Tracy are concerned for everyone's safety. Do you think it is at all possible that Martin was the one who survived that fall in Paris? Ashley will say it's not possible. Tracy fell in love with that man, Jack. He lived under our roof. But Jack will remind her that Martin pretended to be Alan and assaulted her. Ashley will say he's been nothing but sweet to Tracy. So Jack will tell Ashley about Sharon and Phyllis kidnapping. Tracy saw some alerts on Alan's phone about a security breach. Ashley will ask where Alan is now. Jack will say he's in Paris. If this turns out to be Martin and he hurts Tracy, I will kill him myself, Ashley will tell him. She'll say she wants to see Tracy right now, but Jack will tell her she's probably asleep. Finally, Tracy will put her hand in her pocket as Alan towers over her and secretly dial Jack on her phone. He'll pick up and hear Alan's voice. Answer me, Tracy. What have you found out? Alan will ask as Jack listens in. Back in the suite, Alan will move in closer. Why do you seem so afraid of me now? He'll ask Tracy. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Tracy Abbott fears the worst but still holds out some hope. She wants to believe that Alan Laurent isn't the kidnapper or his assumed dead brother, Martin Laurent, hasn't been posing as him these past months. As fans recall, Alan was the friend Ashley Abbott reached out to when she was in Paris, France. The perceived intensity of her fallout with Tucker McCall caused her to seek help, which is Alan's area of expertise. Viewers learned that Ashley and Alan knew each other for years. However, rather than a romantic angle being developed when he arrived in Genoa City, Wisconsin, the man believed to be Alan turned his interest to Tracy, and a heartwarming storyline appeared to unfold. It's reasonable to wonder why Tracy, of all people, was positioned to become Alan or Martin's target. Though this Laurent brother may have fallen in love with her despite the crimes he's committed, it would be wrong to conclude that a villain can't love. The man Tracy donated her daughter Colleen Carlton's heart to, Victor Newman, has committed acts far worse than what Cousin's character did. Yet Victor undoubtedly loves Nikki Newman. Even if Alan died when he and his identical twin brother fell out of that window in Paris, then it's still possible that Martin loves Tracy. Whether he also proves to be Aristotle Dumas remains unknown. But if so, he would have the money to potentially avoid any lasting legal consequences, just like Victor has done through many soapy years. Davidson is on a recurring contract, so Ashley is only seen sporadically. The name Alan will be used throughout this feature for ease of use, knowing that his identity has yet to be confirmed or denied. So Alan's acceptance of Jack's offer to have the intended wedding to Tracy at the updated Abbott mansion also implies Ashley's return to town. Despite Tracy's engagement with Alan, Ashley has known him far longer. That makes it reasonable to claim that Ashley's specific insight will prove to be determinant. She can offer particular references to their time together that Martin would be unaware of. Jack is often on defense, and that's not a slam against him. Unlike productive business strategy, looking out for family is a different consideration. As Chance Chancellor agreed, Jack's idea to hold the wedding in the Abbott house would shield Tracy from being alone with Alan in Paris. Alan's acceptance of Jack's pitch also meant that he would be on the Abbott's home turf as efforts are made to determine his identity. Viewers know that Cousin's character is off balance, whether it's Alan or Martin. The setup is straightforward, with the reveal likely projecting to Tracy's hoped-for wedding day. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, April 8, indicate some major bombshells as another week kicks off in Genoa City. A leading lady returns, while two others want justice, and someone sends out an SOS. What can fans expect from Tuesday's show? Time to dive right in. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, April 8 hint that Ashley Abbott will return to the land of GC, and she'll be welcomed back to town with major chaos. It looks like Jack Abbott will bring Ashley up to speed with the idea that her friend Alan Laurent might be Martin Laurent. During the weekly preview, Jack is shown at the Jazz Lounge when he tells Ashley about his theory, and his sister looks on, shocked. Will she reveal any red flags she may have noticed in the recent past? Speaking of Martin/Alan, his two kidnappees, who have yet to find out that he is the one behind their hostage situation, will want justice. Chance Chancellor provided some interesting new evidence during the Monday, April 7 show regarding a connection to a Paris psychiatric clinic. While Sharon Newman and Nick Newman had an inkling that Alan might be behind it, Phyllis accused Ashley. Regardless, will new information pop up on Tuesday's show? Either way, it looks like Sharon and Phyllis may team up to get some sort of justice in this situation. Lastly, the Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday suggest that Tracy Abbott will send out an SOS. What's the reason behind her distress call? Probably Martin/Alan. The Lie and Our preview shows Tracy enjoying a drink in her GCAC hotel room, only to see Alan stroll in, somewhat unannounced. Jack summoned him back to town under the guise of him marrying Tracy at the Abbott mansion. So could he be on to their plan? Will Tracy realize Alan is Martin? More importantly, is she in any danger? What storyline are you most excited to see on Tuesday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily to see what happens next in Genoa City, And visit SOS regularly for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, April 9, reveal that Jack Abbott and Ashley Abbott will panic over danger while Chance Chancellor makes a disturbing discovery. Following an unsettling call from Tracy Abbott's phone, Jack will realize she's in a tight spot. Alan Laurent, aka Martin Laurent, came back earlier than anticipated and is in the middle of a very menacing conversation with Tracy in her suite. Jack will sound the alarm to Ashley about the risk to their sister, so they'll both fly into panic mode. However, more trouble could be brewing if Alan figures out Tracy dialed the phone in her pocket. That could anger Alan even more and lead to him potentially kidnapping Tracy depending on how things play out. Regardless, it's becoming increasingly clear that Alan is indeed his sociopathic twin brother, Martin. Jack will presumably want to contact Chance and let him know what's going on. My and our fans can expect Chance to discover something disturbing on Wednesday's show, so that may involve Jack's updates on Tracy being alone with Alan. Then again, maybe some other lead will pan out and leave Chance certain about Martin's guilt in the kidnapping investigation. No matter how it all goes down, Detective Chancellor will surely want to leap into action. Chance may advise against Ashley and Jack blowing in there without backup, since they could escalate Martin's behavior. It's also possible that Martin will force Tracy to another location by the time Jack and Ashley rush up there to help. Whatever the case, Tracy will end up confronting Alan about all her suspicions soon, so this showdown is about to get pretty wild. Despite all Tracy's previous predictions about living happily ever after, Martin will realize that's not going to happen. Will Tracy be able to get out of this mess unscathed? The Young and the Restless spoilers say Tracy's loved ones will fear the worst as they await more news, so stay tuned for all the twists and turns. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Victor Newman's informants might leak some misleading information, but the actions of Kyle Abbott and Jack Abbott could backfire. Kyle's concerns regarding an employee named Matheson enabled him to assist Jack in uncovering Victor's newest plan. With Jack and Kyle now wary that Victor has infiltrated Jabot with spies, they can focus on uncovering them and enticing these employees with higher pay to flip the situation in their favor. Jack aims to outsmart Victor, so the most strategic move is to allow Victor to believe his scheme is succeeding. Jack and Kyle can provide these spies with false information, which they will then relay to their previous employer. I and our fans are aware that Michael Baldwin serves as the intermediary in this scenario. The fabricated intel will need to pass through Michael first, but if Jack and Kyle execute their plans skillfully, he might not catch on to any discrepancies. When Victor learns about the upcoming product launches, he might decide to undermine them. He could invest both time and money into this sabotage scheme, only to discover that he's been missiled. Once Victor comes to the realization that Kyle and Jack have been deceiving him, he may retaliate fiercely. His desire for revenge is already brewing, but this revelation could push him to his limits. Meanwhile, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin has been expressing her concerns about the perilous path that lies ahead for Michael Baldwin. With Michael potentially on a dangerous trajectory, Lauren is optimistic that he will recognize the right moment to sever ties with Victor and steer clear of serious consequences. However, Michael's strong loyalty to Victor might be difficult to overcome, especially when he's pressured to go beyond acceptable limits. This is why Jack and Kyle's efforts to thwart Victor's espionage plot could lead to catastrophic results. Their actions might provoke an even greater wrath from Victor, pulling Michael deeper into turmoil. Future spoilers indicate that Victor may alter his methods of revenge as the plot unfolds, so stay tuned for updates on his elaborate schemes. Both Jack and Victor have been around in the business world long enough to know corporate espionage is not always a safe process. Sometimes, some of the spying is even illegal. For instance, a corporate spy could be suspected of insider trading, and Victor is certainly not immune. Even with an experienced lawyer like Michael involved, there is always a fair amount of risk. But still, Victor has been in the corporate world longer than Jack, and the feud between the two started when Jack wasn't much older than Kyle. He knows the tricks of the trade to come out on top, and Jack may be unfairly matched with the mustache. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that 3 broken hearts are brewing, so let's talk about the characters who will face romantic devastation. My Aunt R definitely has some pain in store for a few Genoa City residents, so here's what fans can expect. For starters, there's Tracy Abbott, whose heartbreak has already begun thanks to her growing suspicions about Alan Laurent being Martin Laurent. It looks like Tracy will soon get confirmation on Martin's true identity and the fact that he orchestrated the captivity scheme at the clinic. Tracy planned on marrying Alan and living a beautiful life together, so she'll be crushed once everything falls apart. Alan Aka. Martin is a dangerous monster, not the man of Tracy's dreams. It'll be hard for Tracy to pick up the pieces of her shattered heart, but life must go on in GC. 2. Claire Newman. As for Claire Newman, she may get hit with heartbreak from multiple angles. If Audra Charles ultimately goes along with Victor Newman's pitch, she may successfully destroy Kyle Abbott's romance with Claire. With Audra's assistance, Victor may force Claire to see an uglier side of Kyle and ruin their relationship in the process. If that happens, Claire will end up heartbroken over losing Kyle, and she could end up heartbroken over Victor's sabotage if she finds out about that too. Jealous Summer Newman is a factor in all this as well, so she could add to the misery that may be looming for Claire. 3. Nate Hastings. Nate Hastings may be gearing up for some heartbreak of his own, especially if Audra goes through with this Kyle takedown plot. That could lead to strife in Audra and Nate's romance, especially if she keeps secrets about what she's up to for Victor. The fact that Audra's considering working for Victor at all could be a real problem for Nate. Of course, we can't forget about Holden Novak and his past connection to Audra, which may not be so far in the past after all. Holden and Audra could cross the line thanks to the flirting they'll do later this month, so stay tuned for updates on how far these ex-lovers might go. Regardless, Nate could find himself broken-hearted once his storyline brings some terrible news. The Young and the Restless spoilers say several characters will have to make predictions about their next chapters, so don't miss all the romantic twists ahead. Fans of The Young and the Restless got a hilarious treat this week. Jason Thompson, who plays Billy Abbott, just gave viewers a new reason to smile. On Instagram, he shared a fun photo where he dressed like Victor Newman, mustache and all. The post read, "I'm coming for you, Victor." Fans instantly recognized the playful jab. After all, Victor's iconic nickname is the Mustache, a favorite dig used by Jack Abbott. But this time, it was Jack's little brother Billy bringing the heat. The Young and the Restless has long thrived on the Newman versus Abbott rivalry. Victor and Jack's decades-long feud defined much of Genoa City's history. They've battled over love, business, and pride. And now, that energy lives on in the next generation. Billy and Victor may not have started the war, but they sure keep it alive. The drama began when Billy fell hard for Victoria, Victor's daughter. The moment Billy became a thing, all bets were off. Victor was never a fan of Billy Boy. He worked overtime to wreck Billy and Victoria's romance. Arrests at weddings, bringing in shady outsiders, that's classic Victor. He made sure Billy never got too comfortable. But Billy didn't help himself either. His reckless choices, gambling, lying, chaos, fueled Victor's fire. Every slip gave Victor a new reason to strike. Billy may have fizzled out, but Victor and Billy's feud still burns. Their latest battlefield, Chancellor Enterprises. Billy is trying to outmaneuver Victor with a new business ally, Aristotle Dumas. This mystery tycoon could be a game changer. But we've seen how alliances like this go in Genoa City. Expect betrayal, secrets, and sabotage. Jason's cheeky Instagram post teases exactly where this storyline is headed. He's not just acting like Billy anymore. He's poking the bear, and fans are here for it. The post quickly gained traction online. Viewers love when actors embrace the legacy of their characters. And Jason Thompson's shout-out to Victor shows he understands the deep roots of this rivalry. It also gave fans a moment of levity. In a show filled with drama and backstabbing, humor is always welcome. Billy is playing with fire. Aligning with a shady newcomer while provoking Victor? Not the smartest combo. Still, it makes for great TV. Will Victor strike back harder than ever? Will Aristotle Dumas help Billy win, or bring him down? One thing's for sure, The Young and the Restless is heating up. Stay tuned, soap fans. This story is far from over. That's all for now. For more fun updates on The Young and the Restless, stick with Soap Opera Daily. Big changes are unfolding on The Young and the Restless. Nathan Owens, who entered the canvas earlier this year, just made a major move. Fans noticed something different during the show's closing credits. Owens is now listed as a contract player. This shift hints at more drama, bigger plots, and longer screen time for his mysterious character. Nathan Owens first appeared as a man claiming to be Damian Kane, the long-lost son of Amy Lewis. His mission seemed simple: reconnect with family. But things quickly turned complicated. It didn't take long for viewers to learn the truth. He wasn't Damian at all. He was actually Holden Novak, a man playing a dangerous game. Amy Lewis, battling leukemia, had reached out to reconnect her sons, Holden and Nate Hastings. But Holden's motives weren't clear. He entered the scene with secrets and suspicion trailing behind. While Amy had good intentions, Holden wasn't upfront about his true identity or why he had shown up in Genoa City. CBS doesn't officially confirm contract status changes, but sharp-eyed fans always catch the signs. Nathan Owens' name now appears before Jermaine Rivers in the end credits. That slight shift says a lot. It places Owens in the main contract cast, suggesting that his character's role will expand significantly. So what's next for Holden? Now that he's a confirmed contract player, expect deeper storylines. His ties to Nate open up endless possibilities. Could he be a new ally or a long-term threat? With his shady past and secret connections, anything can happen. Nathan Owens is no stranger to daytime drama. He debuted in 2012 on Days of Our Lives as Dr. Cameron Davis. Since then, he's grown his resume with roles in Devious Maids, Dollface, The Carmichael Show, and 9-to-11. Lone Star. His appearance in the OWN holiday film, A Season to Remember, also caught attention. Now, The Young and the Restless is giving him another big platform. Holden's future looks anything but predictable. With deeper involvement in Genoa City, he may cross paths with power players soon. Whether he's stirring up trouble or seeking redemption, this character is about to make waves. And with a contract status, his screen time will only grow, so fans better keep an eye on every move. The Young and the Restless just gave Nathan Owens a bigger seat at the table. That means more drama, deeper plots, and endless twists. Holden Novak isn't just passing through, he's here to stay. Stay close for all updates and exclusive cast news on Soap Opera Daily. See you in Genoa City. It is suggested by The Young and the Restless that Billy will make a significant impression when he appears on the Y&R canvas. Flynn is a gifted and captivating actor, and it will be interesting to watch how he fits in on the canvas. Assuming Flynn plays Aristotle or Aristotle's son, whose father died and left him everything, including his business empire, it will be entertaining to watch who they pair him with romantically. We have a few attractive women in mind who would be ideal for Flynn. Since Billy is currently enamored with the enigmatic Aristotle, Their relationship is in jeopardy. There would be a major plot surprise if Flynn played Dumas, the son of the elusive millionaire industrialist, and his character fell in love with Sally. It would be ironic if Sally fell in love with the man she had warned Billy about. Since it appears that things are going in that direction nonetheless, Billy would be free to get back together with Phyllis if Sally were drawn to this new player in town. Even though we still have optimism for Adam and Sally, we could imagine ourselves getting comfortable with Billy Flynn and Courtney Optimism playing against one another. Another love interest for Flynn could be Summer. Her engagement with him would encourage her to leave Kyle and Claire alone. Chelsea might be another option. Even though she is now seeing Adam, she will eventually get weary of his actions against Billy, which could end their relationship. Another choice is Lily. A triangle involving her, Damien, and Dumas's son would be interesting. Since Daniel abandoned her for Heather, Lily has experienced a severe lack of love, and she is due for a bountiful harvest. Seeing Damien and his employer argue over a lady would also be intriguing. Given that Damien is in charge of the businesses that Aristotle owns, it might make their working conditions very challenging. Abby and Devon are a snooze fest, let's face it. Flynn's character and Abby's could work well together. Tracy's heart pounded in the dimly lit room, dread creeping up her spine. She knew danger was near. Earlier that evening, Alan had broken into her room, his behavior bizarre, sinister. Tracy sensed this was no ordinary break-in. She felt like a pawn in a larger, dangerous game. Despite the fear, she acted. Her instincts took over. She quietly called Jack, the one person she trusted completely. Jack, unaware of the situation, answered expecting a normal conversation. Instead, he heard Tracy's trembling voice, and another voice, Martin's. Tracy pleaded with Martin, trying to calm him. She hadn't told anyone about what she saw on the phone. Martin's response was unsettling, calm, menacing, and confusing. He insisted he'd never hurt her, claiming love while threatening control. Jack listened, stunned. Martin wasn't a concerned friend, he was a threat. Jack realized Tracy's life was in real danger. Tracy, meanwhile, tried to stay composed, even as her tears fell. She tried to reason with Martin, asking him to understand her fear. Martin's tone was soft, yet laced with darkness. He said he cared for her, but his words held control rather than comfort. Tracy was balancing on a knife's edge between love and terror. Jack raced to her house, haunted by the conversation. He remembered past warning signs, things that now made sense. Martin's affection was a mask. Inside, Tracy held her phone, white-knuckled. She whispered to Martin, begging him to understand her fear. His response, again, seemed loving but manipulative. Every sentence sounded like a trap. Jack arrived and paused at the door. The silence inside was terrifying. He prepared to act. Earlier, Tracy had also questioned Alan's intentions. She had loved him deeply. His sudden intrusion shattered her faith. Was he being manipulated too? When Jack called Victor, Michael, and Chance, they quickly formed a rescue team. The stakes were too high. Victor acted fast. Michael sensed deception. Chance, having known both Martin and Alan, warned that things were spiraling. They agreed. This wasn't just romance gone wrong, it was a power play. As Jack ran toward her home, his heart pounded. So many questions. Was Alan really dangerous? Was Martin using her? Back in the house, Tracy remembered her love for Alan, the gentleness, the intimacy. Now all of that was in doubt. Her trust was shattered. She asked Martin, "Why should I not be afraid?" Martin replied that everything he did was for their future, that he'd never hurt her. But his words were cold, calculated. Outside, Jack's team arrived. The mission was clear: rescue Tracy and uncover the truth. Inside, Tracy realized the fight wasn't just for survival, it was for the truth behind the lies. Jack finally reached the door. With his team behind him, he stepped inside. The truth, buried in love, betrayal, and manipulation, waited in the shadows. Tracy is trapped in a terrifying situation. After Alan's suspicious break-in and Martin's disturbingly calm but controlling conversation, she calls Jack for help. Jack realizes quickly that Martin poses a serious threat to Tracy, despite claiming to love and protect her. While Tracy tries to stay strong and reason with Martin, his words reveal a manipulative agenda. Jack, deeply alarmed, calls Victor, Michael, and Chance to help. They conclude that this isn't just a case of romantic drama, but a dangerous power play. As Jack races to Tracy's home, haunted by the twisted relationships and past warning signs, Tracy confronts the painful reality that the men she once trusted may be using her. At the climax, Jack arrives with his team, ready to face the danger and rescue Tracy from the toxic web of betrayal, hidden motives, and false affection. Mark Mann's heartbreaking loss, a tragic farewell to his younger brother. We've all come to know Mark Mann as the complex and multidimensional Adam Newman on The Young and the Restless, with his scheming, struggles, and tangled love life. However, behind the scenes lies a much more personal and heart-wrenching story. Recently, in an emotional revelation, Mark opened up about a devastating loss from his past, one that shaped who he is today. In a raw interview, Mark shared the heartbreaking story of losing his younger brother to mental illness, a tragedy that still haunts him. A devastating loss. Mark spoke candidly about the toll his brother's mental illness took on their family. His brother struggled with paranoid schizophrenia and passed away on January 1, 2007, at a young age. The grief from this loss has left a permanent scar on Mark's heart. The struggles leading to tragedy. Mark described how signs of his brother's illness showed up long before a diagnosis. At 19, Mark didn't fully understand what was happening and assumed it was a phase. His brother became withdrawn, stopped attending public school, avoided social interaction, and developed paranoia. He even showered in the dark and wore all black, clear signs of internal suffering. The heartbreaking reality of loss. Even then, Mark admits he didn't realize how deeply his brother was hurting. Looking back, he now sees the immense pain his brother carried. Mark still struggles with the guilt of not being able to help or stop the deterioration. That helplessness and sorrow are wounds that remain unhealed. This tragedy serves as a painful reminder of how mental illness affects not only the individual's suffering but also their loved ones. Mark's story is a call for awareness, compassion, and support for those facing similar battles. As he continues to heal and honor his brother's memory, your support matters. If you'd like to offer condolences or encouragement, feel free to leave a comment. Mark's strength in sharing his story is truly inspiring. Quick summary. Actor Mark Mann opened up about the tragic loss of his younger brother, who passed away in 2007 after a long battle with paranoid schizophrenia. Mark was only 19 at the time and didn't fully understand the severity of his brother's illness. The signs, social withdrawal, paranoia, and behavioral changes, became clearer in hindsight. The pain of not being able to help or save his brother still affects him deeply today. His emotional story highlights the importance of mental health awareness and compassion for those affected and their families. In the latest upheaval shaking Genoa City, explosive revelations have emerged linking Damien to the elusive Aristotle Dumas. Long suspected of harboring hidden agendas, Damien's silence has now been interpreted not as indifference, but as a calculated strategy, igniting alarm across the city's power elite. Victor Newman, caught off guard by the scale of the deception, is now scrambling to verify claims that place Damien at the core of a far-reaching conspiracy. Amy's emotional disclosure to Nate becomes the turning point, revealing that Damien not only manipulated her, but also fabricated a series of falsehoods, including her health condition, to gain strategic leverage. According to Amy, every interaction and symptom was part of a broader scheme designed to destabilize Victor and orchestrate systemic collapse among allies and adversaries alike. This network of deception has now ensnared multiple players. Victor and Michael, both driven by a mix of betrayal and urgency, are working in tandem to dismantle Damien's influence. Meanwhile, Nate, devastated by the extent of the betrayal from both Damien and Amy, finds himself re-evaluating every past relationship and motive. As the web of lies unravels, it becomes evident that Damien's exit strategy, presented as a voluntary departure, is more than a retreat. It is a tactical maneuver designed to maintain chaos in his absence. His ambitions, as described by Amy, go far beyond personal gain, posing a threat to the city's very structure of influence and loyalty. The question looming over all of Geno City now is whether Amy's confession is a genuine attempt at redemption or another piece of Damien's puzzle. Regardless, the implications are seismic. With trust shattered and alliances fraying, the city braces for a final reckoning, one that could redefine its future and the legacies of its most powerful figures. Tracy's engagement shattered by dark whispers. Tracy was thrilled about her engagement, but Sharon Newman shared troubling rumors. Alan/Martin might be part of a kidnapper duo. Tracy, fearing for her safety, confided in Jack and Chance, risking everything to get to the truth. Her confrontation with Alan/Martin was tense, signaling a brave stand against possible danger. Unfolding clues and Paris connection. Sharon and Phyllis uncover new clues linking the kidnappers to a shady clinic in Paris, the same place where Alan sent Ashley Abbott for treatment. This hints at an international conspiracy. Their alliance strengthens as they investigate deeper. Ashley's return adds more chaos. Ashley Abbott dramatically returns, stirring more confusion. Jack hints that Alan might not be who he claims, perhaps not even the twin who survived a deadly fall in Paris. Her return reignites old traumas and reveals new secrets. Sharon and Phyllis unite. Despite their rocky history, Sharon and Phyllis join forces to bring justice. They debate whether to work within the system or take justice into their own hands, adding moral tension to the storyline. Geno City on edge. Tracy's brave actions are just one part of a complex puzzle. The kidnapping mystery, Paris connection, and Ashley's revelations push Geno City toward a dramatic reckoning. Chance and Summer breakup. Their relationship ends definitively. Summer, now unattached, starts to gravitate back toward Kyle Abbott. This emotional split fuels new personal and family tensions. Victor's vengeance against Kyle. Victor targets Kyle Abbott with strategic fury, seeking retribution for past misdeeds. His vendetta is both personal and power-driven. Audra's tempting offer. Victor makes a mysterious offer to Audra Charles. At first, she declines, but as its benefits unfold, she becomes intrigued. Her decision could change Genoa City's power dynamics. Victoria's reflective journey. Victoria steps back from the chaos to reassess her life. Haunted by mistakes, she begins a path of personal growth and reflection. Her story contrasts with the surrounding drama. Alliances and fates intertwine. Chance's breakup with Summer triggers a domino effect. Summer pursues Kyle, Victor targets Kyle, and Audra faces a pivotal choice. Each character's decision now carries serious consequences. Final thoughts. The storm builds. As secrets emerge and alliances shift, Genoa City faces a reckoning. Will justice prevail through Sharon and Phyllis? Will Victor's vengeance destroy more than it restores? And can characters like Audra and Victoria shape their own futures, or become victims of a bigger game? Summary. The Young and the Restless is heating up with kidnappings, betrayals, shocking alliances, and deeply personal crises. Tracy bravely confronts a possible kidnapper. Sharon and Phyllis team up to uncover a conspiracy tied to a Paris clinic. Meanwhile, Chance ends things with Summer, igniting her renewed interest in Kyle. just as Victor plots revenge. Audra faces a moral crossroad, and Victoria reflects on her past. Every character is on a collision course, and Genoa City is on the brink of chaos. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease some hints are dropping as to mystery man Aristotle Dumas' true identity. Is Cain Ashby the mastermind behind Aristotle Dumas' empire? Will he be making a comeback to the show? On Instagram, Goddard has been teasing some exciting news that he's not yet able to reveal, leading fans to speculate that it could be related to a return to soap operas. A comeback to Y&R is certainly a possibility worth considering. However, what really caught our attention was a line from the March 2 episode. When Billy Abbott mentioned Aristotle to Jack Abbott, Jack recalled that Aristotle had appeared out of the blue about 5 or 6 years ago. Since Goddard left his role as Cain Ashby in 2019, the timing aligns perfectly for him to potentially take on the character of Aristotle Dumas. Could it be that Cain reinvented himself as Aristotle Dumas after leaving Genoa City? Fans might remember that Colin Atkinson's scheme created the illusion that Cain was the rightful heir to Catherine Chancellor's wealth, prompting Devin Winters to transfer his funds. After Colin absconded with the fortune, it was eventually located and returned to Devin's account. Cain was involved in the hunt for Colin, who was ultimately apprehended. Naturally, Cain likely relished the fleeting experience of being a billionaire and was determined to make a significant impact in the business realm. Colin undoubtedly had numerous dubious contacts that could have aided Cain in his endeavors. It's clear that Aristotle maintains a very discreet presence, with no images of him available online. Could this be because longtime viewers would instantly recognize Aristotle Dumas when he finally appears on screen? If so, it might be Cain who is ultimately unveiled as the mastermind behind Aristotle's operations. It's possible that Damian Cain is hiding a significant secret from Lily Winters if he's actually working for her ex-husband. There's a chance that Damian's initial romantic interest in Lily was more about monitoring her for Cain, and explains why he'd want to undermine Victor and collaborate with Billy to target Chancellor. Cain, the previous CDO, has previously clashed with Victor over Chancellor-related issues. While Billy has had a phone conversation with someone who claimed to be Aristotle, it's possible that Cain had one of his staff impersonate him. It's plausible to think that Aristotle has connections to Genoa City himself, and Cain undoubtedly does.